Today is August 24th, 2017. My name is Ted Doskaris. This is my refrigerator car train, all refrigerator car train that I described and characterized on the August 16th, 2017 video. And this time I have the Aristo-Craft Mallet on the front of the train acting as a helper because I'm going to pull it up the grade. And I reduced the ALCO FA1 set from 5 units to 3 units. There's a 1A unit and 2B units. And again, all these locomotives and cars have body-mounted Kadee couplers, including the center set types, including on the front pilot of the Mallet. And there's a reinforcing strap that I built under it that I described in a vignette or article to reinforce it. Otherwise the pilot would just be pulled off the front of the loco, since it's fairly weak if you're going to use this loco pulling up cars or acting as a helper with other locos in front of it. So again, the tender was lowered in this Mallet, and that's described in the article about the Mallet. And again, all the Aristo-Craft FA and FB ones have been lowered 5/16 of an inch. And again, body-mounted, fixed body-mounted Kadee center set 907 couplers. And the cars on this refrigerator train, it's a total of 40 cars, as described again in the August 16th, 2017 video. Again, the cars have Kadee 906s typically, and there's a USA Trains caboose on the end of the train that has Kadee 906 couplers on it as well. So I'll proceed to run the train outside, and we'll see how the helper works in this case. I'm using an Aristo-Craft Revolution track power of a base station, and there's a Meanwell power supply here, and there's the receiver, and I have an optional low-pass filter, but I'm operating in pulse width modulation, or as Aristo calls PWC mode. So this circuit isn't in the path right now, and that allows, for example, the lights to be on, which may be in focus here for the Mallet, before the train starts moving or at low speeds. It also allows maybe a little bit better low speed control. So it's about to go in the outdoor portal here. So you can see the 3 FA, FB1, and FB1 locos. And the first 2 cars are AML brand, wood-sided reefers. Western Pacific, happened to be Western Pacific PFE, and the prototype joined PFE in 1924, but of course most of the cars are Union Pacific and Southern Pacific. So we'll go outside and see how it does. There it's coming across the reinforced bridge, LGB bridge. So I'll speed it up. I'm at 45% power right now. It'll be a while before the whole train emerges from under the house, being it's 40 cars long. Now hopefully the wind isn't too much, because these cars are fairly light at 2 3/4 pounds, and when it gets too windy, they can get blown off the tracks. So here the train is coming up the first of the loops. I need 2 loops, average of 2.2% to get up to the upper part of the garden here, much like the real railroads. And here we can see the caboose finally. It's a USA Trains northeastern style caboose, although Union Pacific never had that type. They had a wood side that resembles it, so I compromised and got that caboose. So it looks like the Helper is working okay. Union Pacific actually had a Mallet, I think provided to them in World War II, and it survived for a while, and they actually did use it as a helper. And of course, when Union Pacific got the ALCO FA1s and FB1s, I think it was around 1947 or so. So it's conceivable they may have actually used a helper on these locos. To get over Sherman Hill, I suppose. Again, I use track power, stainless steel track outside. There's brass under the house. And stainless steel is preferable for the oxidation properties, which is too severe, and when it does oxidize, it still electrically conducts. So all I have to do to clean it is take a Swiffer to get the organic stuff off before I run the trains. Going on the outside loop. And it's going to come over the horseshoe curve via the viaduct here. I'm going to have to switch a track here, so when it comes around on the return loop here, it won't have problems. I notice the pony axle on the Mallet tends to derail if the switch isn't thrown properly. It doesn't have enough force on it to push the points open by spring action. Again, there are 39 refrigerator cars and 1 caboose for a total of 40 cars in this train. So I'm going to switch the switch when the caboose passes it here to go on the inside path for the next go around. Again, I'm using track power. I don't use DCC or any kind of air wire or remote receivers in each of the locos, but you can see speed-wise when pulling a fairly heavy train, they're all compatible. So I have to switch this switch here for the inside path. You can see a train coming up the inside path. Now here the Mallet helper is attached to the train, attached to the three Union Pacific FA1, FB1, FD1 units, and it's going to come down this grade here. Again, the tender was lowered. The tender by itself weighs about 5.5 pounds. Pretty heavy. Again, this is a 40-car train, a refrigerator block train. It's, I believe, fairly realistic for its era. Ice bunker cars. And there's the caboose. Once the train is up on this higher level in my garden, I don't need the Mallet helper. Three FA units, or FA1 and FB1, FD1, 3 units can pull the train okay. Even though there is somewhat of a grade up here, varies between 2.2 and 5%, but more on a straight path, so you don't have the friction of the tight curves as much as on a double loop down here. Up, so I wonder if some of these cars might get blown off pretty soon. Usually around this section. We're going to switch to the outside path and next return loop. So I'll slow the train down here to stop it so I can reattach the helper unit to bring the train under the house. Now here the engines are coupled to I just ran the engine around to the other side of the train, and now it's going to be pulled back under my house, going over this loop. And of course you wouldn't want to do this with a mallet unless you reinforced it in the front with a metal strap, as I've described in the article, because the pilot would be virtually pulled off. And again, this has Kadee body mount couplers. So hopefully the wind it's picked up won't blow these cars off. There you can see the coupler action. Again, 40 cars long. And as the train descends the grade, the couplers will tend to go into compression sometimes and also tension. Again, the collective weight on these cars is about 110 pounds. Some of the cars have ball-bearing journals in the side frames in the Aristo trucks. But of course, going around a curve, you don't get the differentiation or differential action that you need, so there's still drag on the curve. So the train is now on the upper loop, descending to the lower loop. The mallet itself, the boiler section, is very heavy. It's 15 to 16 pounds. And you have to handle it with some delicacy, lifting it, that you don't bust some of the nice rigging off the side of there. I could speed it up, I guess. 33% power. And still it needs to pull the train down even because of the drag on the curve. And there you have it. The train's returning to its quarters.